Welcome to the Daily Thunder podcast. I am Cray Allred, Editor-in-Chief at Daily Thunder. This is a wrap-up to our draft coverage, which we did live last night. For the first round of the draft, we did a live broadcast on Twitter, which you can find on our Twitter profile. If you care to rewatch any of that, we had a bunch of stuff. We have guests. We had myself. We had Spencer Davis, Brandon Rabar, Olivia Punchal, and Jerry Ramsey from the franchise, all talking, draft reactions, as well as just general Thunder and NBA stuff as we hung out during the draft. You can go back and skim through that and watch that for some entertaining stuff. And I just wanted to kind of give some final thoughts on the Thunder's draft now that it's over. What has been a pretty positive, fun experience for our first official live stream from Daily Thunder. We will take that with us and for sure do it again. So I just wanted to, this is Cray Allred, Editor-in-Chief. We're going to wind down the stream with a few talking points here, just to kind of wrap things up. So the big news of the night is that the Thunder did indeed trade for the player that they were pretty much the only player that they were rumored and reported to have concrete interest in, and that's Aleksej Pokusevski. And my Oklahoma City media brothers and sisters will be learning to pronounce that and stop butchering it like I just did. Although we'll still probably usually refer to him as Poku in short. Poku is I made a joke on Twitter that while he was my guy, I think it is important that there were most likely at-home digital boo birds for him, like there were for Kristaps Porzingis. It's only natural for unproven, atypical, undersized, weird fit type players to not be an unambiguous, obvious choice for the Thunder, especially that late in the draft. He was picked at 17. There's not going to be a no-brainer at that point. So we'll just hope that those of us in the Thunder fan base who are doubters will have done the Porzingis jinx and declaring him done before he even steps foot on an NBA court. In the meantime, there's some, he's a young, lanky guy with a sense of humor, and there's some funny videos to look at and very grainy, incomplete tape from his time playing overseas that we can dissect to death. And honestly, the big thing about Poku, while I was very much in favor of him, the Daily Thunder team was, the consensus was very strong on him. In fact, we had a mock podcast that you should listen to on our podcast stream where Justin Hickey, Dom Flame, and Brandon Rabar did a mock war room for the Thunder and actually moved up to pick Poku, which was dead on with what happened tonight. Anyway, while we're happy with it, I think he's a good prospect, a good pitch, a good pick. I don't think anyone's under the impression that he's going to be a drag and drop, obvious good player immediately. So patience would be encouraged. Might not be a couple seasons, other than, you always want to see flashes of promise and whatnot, but he's got to fill out. He's got to get stronger, grow up a little, adjust to the speed of the NBA game, and it'll be a while before we know whether this is a bust or a boom as far as the pick goes. I also wanted to point out that there's technically still some unknowns about the Poku pick. Woj tweeted out the trade for him actually was a quote-unquote package, meaning that someone was coming back from Minnesota who was at 17 along with the pick. Most likely that is going to be James Johnson. So don't get your hopes up for too much. James Johnson would just be the most likely salary matching piece since Ricky Rubio was being dealt over to the Wolves as part of that deal. Yeah, theoretically there could be other stuff, but most likely it's just James Johnson. Of course, we've still got the 35th pick and the 53rd pick in the second round awaiting. It is possible that after we conclude this podcast, by tomorrow morning, there will be 2 more Thunder draft picks, as well as always, there could be two-way players, G League players that go undrafted that are scooped up immediately after the draft by the Thunder. It's also very possible that the Thunder would trade away, repackage, or even sell some of those second rounders, since they do have more than 15 first round picks in the years ahead. So it's not like they're desperate to fill every possible hole in the roster with a draft pick this season. There will be a Sam Presti press conference immediately following the draft. I'm assuming the Thunder are still very much actively working whatever trade market there is for picks this late, and or looking very closely at the draft board for players they still might be targeting. So there's that. One other thing didn't want to let go unmentioned was that the Sixers deal earlier that brought Al Horford finally to the Thunder just a few years too late, and at a little bit worse of a value. It also included a player from Serbia. So we've got a couple of those now in Oklahoma City. And his last name is pronounced Micic. I won't pretend to even try his first name, but he's actually a 26-year-old who has been a draft and stash player that the Sixers had rights to. I have no idea if he's likely to come over, if this is someone that'll just get kicked around in other draft considerations for the years to come, which sometimes happen. Theoretically, the Thunder have room and they could give a job to a player like that, whereas the Sixers may not have been able to in recent years, haven't been able to guarantee the same amount of playing time that the Thunder might. So technically that could be a player coming over this year and years later. It still probably would not likely be like a future-looking piece. That would be probably to get him on a contract, see if he has value, see if any other teams might want to scoop him up at that point. So we also still have the potential for Danilo Gallinari sign and trade, although those hopes are probably waning with the first round about past us. Of course, the Mavericks were very interested in Gallinari. The Heat were rumored to be interested. Potentially a team that has another first round selection that maybe they're not as in love with as the Thunder are at this point, that also would like a wing, most likely a playoff team, could theoretically still sign and trade if they orchestrated it just right to happen in conjunction with the Horford trade, so that they can do all the cap maneuvering that they need to make that happen. It's also possible, though, it sounds like the Atlanta Hawks are at least near the front for suitors for Gallinari, and they would have no need to do a sign and trade. So a few other dominoes left to fall. They'll fall most likely, we'll know by the morning, but most people are tuning out at this point in the draft and taking their chances, as we will, with not having to find out live on broadcast which players may or may not be there for the Thunder at picks 35, 53, and any other trades. So that's the wrap up. This really marks, I think, this draft and this week has marked the beginning of the Thunder's process. We'll come up with a different name for it. We've had Trust the Presti, one of the Daily Thunder contributors' original suggestion has been the new Prestament, which we like. There will be other suggestions, and one will probably stick. And those of you still tuning into the Thunder this year will be on board for that, presumably, as we pay more attention to development, the future, trades, all the kind of off-court stuff that we have not paid so close attention to while the team was winning a lot more games and contending in the playoffs, which is quite unlikely at this point for this season and the next few seasons to come. We also have, I wanted to mention that there are no shortage of Thunder rivals to root against or to pay attention to hate watch, however you want to do it, or to, watch affectionately and longingly, especially with the potential for James Harden to team up with Kevin Durant and or Serge Ibaka in Brooklyn or Houston, or to stay with Russ in Houston. It looks like one way or another there's going to be, kind of a second wave Thunder grouping yet again next season that Thunder fans will certainly be in their feelings for one way or the other as we watch other teams progress and possibly root against them because of the Thunder's interest in their valuable draft picks if they do poorly, or just the kind of, total legacy narrative kind of discussions that are perpetually surrounding this team, Westbrook, Harden, Kevin Durant, and all of that, which we're all, overly attentive to, but we can't detach from. We do have also a ton of more draft picks. Honestly, this was a crazy, hectic, draft-rich week for the Thunder, and it's only the beginning. There are many more first-round picks to come that are likely to be packaged, repackaged, bandied about, focused on. So Daily Thunder is going to become, by necessity, we're going to have to become a pretty draft-oriented website in the season to come, and which I'll be first to admit is not my strong suit, although I've surprisingly very much caught the bug now that the Thunder are in that kind of game. I've suddenly found myself watching a lot of highlight clips and reading stuff that I have no background in and no expertise in, but it's been fun and it'll continue to be fun. Also, just want to leave a quick note for those looking to support us, either as a business or as just a reader or a fan. Sponsors, we are open for business for the season ahead. The most easy to scoop up sponsorship is our game coverage, which we had sponsored last year and hope to again this next year. It's a pretty great opportunity for sponsors. We tend to package our entire game day coverage for one sponsor, and that includes 82 games. Well, it'll include a few fewer with the abbreviated schedule, but it includes every game of the schedule. We have thousands of views and impressions across our website, social media. We have game previews. We live tweet the games. We have instant recaps, diary, journal entries the next day. We have reaction videos. We have press videos where we interview the players and coach after the game. And of course, we have podcasts also every week and every game. So there are tons of sponsorship opportunities for anyone who wants to connect to our fan base. Our readers are the definition of die hard. That'll be especially true in the years to come while they are paying attention to a team very much in rebuild mode and a team that, the only reason you're paying attention to the Thunder before they're good again is because you are a devotee and you're obsessed. And we know that that's the kind of readers, followers, clickers that sponsors are wanting to find. They're not looking to be, an afterthought that someone randomly scrolls past blindly on a Google ad, but someone with a prominent position where people are going to the same spot every single day, every single game. That's what we have to offer at Daily Thunder. We also do have other sponsorship opportunities, even to the level of presenting sponsor, where you could basically, buy the website, buy the banner at the top, buy every thing that we ever post or sell. You'd get credit as our presenting sponsor for that. We do have voracious readers who like to read a lot. We have a lot of writers who like to write a lot. And so the other kind of opportunity that's out there is a newsletter. We have thousands of website subscribers that we could immediately convert overnight to a daily newsletter. And those readers are already in the habit of reading daily content at Daily Thunder, because we've always published daily pieces, articles, roundups, things like that, original and news and notes and things of that nature. So we have that in the chamber, but we do need a sponsor to pull the trigger and actually commit the resources that it would take to actually, pay for a newsletter base, devote the assignments to it every single day. But with the right sponsor, we could, like I said, do that pretty much overnight. For any other fans listening that maybe don't run a business or have the capacity to sponsor but are curious how they might support Daily Thunder for things like this, obviously we just appreciate your views, your clicks. We appreciate when you read the articles, when you tell us that you like them, even when you tell them when you don't like us, when you engage with them. All of that matters to us. When you help us figure out little multimedia things like this, it makes it, honestly, just the engagement's part of the fun, which is part of the value for us, not necessarily just revenue or traffic numbers or things like that. If you want to go to the next step of supporting us, of course, we do have a Patreon at patreon.com/dailythunder. We have a weekly newsletter where you get an exclusive letter from the editor. We have early release posts that you get to read before anyone else gets to read on the internet. We have bonus podcast segments. We have discounts on our merchandise. We do have more t-shirts coming in the pipeline for that. We, when it is responsible, we will yet again organize some physical in-person events and discounts and things that we can put together for people in the Oklahoma City area for our patrons. And we are always working on more ideas and are open to suggestions from our patrons, because we really appreciate them and want to keep them happy and feel like they're getting a good bang for their buck. And the most important thing, if you support Daily Thunder financially or otherwise, is that you're supporting our people. We're able, primarily due to Patreon, we're able to provide modest payment to our writers, which is a big deal to us. For the record, John and I own it, but have not yet taken a dime of revenue, and we've insisted and made that a priority to take care of our people before we did ourselves. So we're looking to build it so that it is worth it for everyone, worth it for our readers, worth it for our writers and contributors, and worth it for us to run it. We feel like we've got good progress there. Also, we always encourage you to rate our podcasts, and then also just follow, encourage our writers and our illustrators, just like us. They're hustling, they're doing their best, they're creative, they're working really hard for not the level of pay that they truly deserve. But if we're just a small stepping stone to people like Brandon Olivia, Justin Hickey, Aiden Elrod, Spencer Davis, Jack Raining, Ian Kayanja, Ryan Woods, I can name just so many more, just extremely talented, good people. We want to let them shine, and even if you decide Daily Thunder bores you, make sure you follow those people and encourage them when they do good work, because that's worth doing, and it's an encouragement to them, and we want to support them. So I'll quit rambling here. We'll be watching along with you guys to press on for the rest of the draft. We'll see where the last few chips fall, and we will be covering all of it in detail. We'll be breaking down film. We'll be looking at, of course, there was a coaching hire, Mark Dagnall. We'll be looking at a lot. There's kind of a blank canvas in front of us. We'll be trying to figure it out with the rest of you. And we've got the people up to that task. So thank you again for paying attention to Daily Thunder and watching the draft with us tonight. And we will talk to you tomorrow.